Well, we see yet another case of a tragedy, which is caused by another instance of neglect of basic amenities. We have different pole voltage. We've read about fire incidents, and in some cases, it was alleged that it's sparks from these same electrical poles that caused the fire that engulfed markets. And yet again, it has killed yet another person, and nothing is being done about it. The people are only wishful thinking and hoping that the colonial government would step in and do something about this. How feasible is that?
Well, to say whether it is feasible or not, you must look at the system of governance in place. If we're having all these accidents, sometimes caused by natural causes, others caused by technical errors, such as these electrical short circuits, you must question yourself, who is responsible for all this? Is it the unfortunate victim or the structures in place? And it is the structures in place. You must question what is their responsibility? What happens to them after all these accidents? In my own opinion, there are two factors, but the most important factor is the technical services. In other words, the company that supplies electricity. Because they don't do their job, they don't do their homework. If they do anything, they steal money. That's the bottom line. And so what they put in place there it's not worth calling it electricity. The equipment they bring, the cables they use are not worth the trouble. Before the incidents happen, something is always regular there. There's no electricity in this cartier. There's no electricity here and there. And they'll tell you that, well, a certain machine got burnt within 5 meters, 10 meters, 15 meters of each other. And those of us who live in the West, why don't we have this? Nothing is going on. The second factor is the individuals, which still links to the first. What is the quality of the cables you use in wiring your houses? What is that thing? Is it worth the trouble? Or is it just defective? In my opinion, a good number of them are defective. But in the open market, sometimes from Nigeria, and those things get bad within seconds. There's no control. But most importantly, what is laid in place for the victims? If Sonel, what they call it, the Onel, or what nonsense they call that thing, if the house, the market is burnt, what's the responsibility of the electrical company? Zero. They don't compensate anybody. Nobody brings them to court. If you bring them to court, you don't have any justice. That's one way. The second point is that they people don't even have electricity. Those their transformers get burnt, and nobody replaces them. Electric poles fall on people's houses. Nobody replaces them. But what's the reaction of the victim? They go to see a certain duo. They go to meet the colonial master, who is known as the chef de terre, who himself does not have electricity in his house. And then you go to tell him that you have no electricity. So, summarily put, it's an absence of governance. From the water you drink, to the electricity that you have, to the hospital to which you go when you are sick. There's no government. The government has since abandoned. If there was ever any government there, they've abandoned their responsibilities. And so we have to go back to square one and start all over again. When we were in West Cameroon, Southern Cameroon those days, what power came? It was not such a powerful thing. But it was there. It supplied electricity. We didn't hear all these accidents. We didn't see all these shortcuts. We didn't see all these terrible things happening to people. And yet, what did they do? They destroyed power camp in preference for something they call Sonair from thousands of miles away in a day. And so it's a sign of a bigger problem that underlies our society as a country. So we should never have been there. I've always said this. We are there. We have to get out of it and pick the chips where they fall. Take the pieces where they are and move on. Over to you.